How do you get blue fire, go insane speeds, and then maintain it? Let's find out.
Whoa!
What's up guys, Canadian Guy here, and I am back with a guide that I have been wanting to make. I have already made a guide for CTR for going insane speeds, but I have a few more on the way, including how to U-turn, Wumpa coin farming, and many others. So if you want to see those, make sure to subscribe to stay up to date. Blue fire is a type of boost that basically is the highest speed that you can attain in the game. It's called this because of the color and flames that come out of the exhaust. They are whitish blue and produce the largest fire plumes. But unlike sacred fire, this cannot be attained by simply power sliding or hitting regular speed boosts. It requires more than that. Now again, if you have not seen my first guide on how to go insane speeds, I highly suggest checking out that video in the card in the top right corner or in the description below. If you think you are fine, you can always refer to the previous video afterwards if you get confused. So, we learned the basics of how to go insane speeds in the previous video. To quickly sum it up in as few words as possible, you need to power slide as much as physically possible and not stop while hitting as many boosts. So, let's push it even more. Sacred fire, which is depicted by the flames coming out of the exhaust, can be achieved by boosting and power sliding. But to get blue fire, you have to hit a super turbo pad. Now, if you are driving normal and hit a super turbo pad, you actually do achieve blue fire, but only for a brief moment before instantly losing it. But there is a way to take that crazy speed and then maintain it. Let me give you a quick comparison and demonstration. This is hitting the super turbo pad normally. Now, let's look at it again, except this time, let's use and maintain the blue fire that we attain. See the speed difference? See how much faster you can go with blue fire? So let's get to how you can do this. So the first step is to go to the time trial and then go to Tiny Temple. This is the best stage to learn and how to maintain blue fire, as you can easily maintain it for 2 laps in a row. This is also the only way to beat Oxide's ghost, so you can practice against him and his time if you like. I also suggest picking either a turning character or an all-rounder character while practicing. I prefer all-rounders when I'm practicing blue fire, but you can experiment with either or. You can then change to acceleration or a speed character later on when you get used to how the track feels with blue fire. The super boost pad is right at the end here. If you take it normally, you lose the blue fire as soon as you hit the ground. But the secret to be able to maintain it is very simple. All you gotta do is get a perfect power slide once or twice as you are entering the super boost. Time it right, and suddenly you are just literally on fire. But notice, it suddenly goes out after a short amount of time. So remember in the previous video how we talked about how reserves work? The more you boost, the more you build reserves. Well, this is when that element comes back into play. In order to maintain the blue fire speed, you have to maintain the reserves. And how do we do that? By power sliding, getting big air and landing it, and getting speed boosts. See, getting blue fire is the easy part. It's getting it and then maintaining it. As soon as you land, you have to start power sliding immediately. Try to get as many perfect boosts as possible while not crashing your cart. If you don't power slide enough, you lose your speed. If you bump into something, you lose your speed. The same rules that apply with Sacred Fire apply with Blue Fire. You need to be able to be constantly feeding the reserves in order for that Blue Fire speed to maintain. This is why we practice on Tiny Temple. The reason why we practice on Tiny Temple is that the track is straightforward and not the most difficult to hold the blue fire. If you do it right, you can maintain the blue fire for most of the race. Remember, keep power sliding as much as possible and you will be able to hold on to the fire. Now, some turns in each map that can get blue fire are quite annoying, but you can turn and then tap R1 or L1 repeatedly to do little bunny hops. These bunny hops will help you turn around these corners that you are struggling with, but make sure to get back into power sliding as quick as possible. Another suggestion is to go to each track that has a super turbo pad to get blue fire and go to the time trial with them. Take your favorite class and learn how to take some of the corners, as each one will do it differently. Like I said, getting blue fire is easy. It's maintaining it that's the challenge. Speaking of going to each track, not every single track has super turbo pads, so that means that you can't achieve blue fire on every single track. So let's go over each track that you can get blue fire on, where to get it, and which character class I think works best on the track. This is my own personal opinion. You guys might have a different opinion. I just find that these are some of the classes that are easiest to get blue fire. Not necessarily the best on the track, but the easiest to hold blue fire. Polar Pass has its super turbo pad right at the end of the course. It has a weird hill here, so to achieve it, you have to make sure you watch your jumps. Get a boost or two leading into the pad and launch off. Due to some of the tight corners, I suggest playing a handling character on this track to make sure you don't lose your blue fire right away. But of course, if you know advanced techniques and proper paths, then a speed character might work for you as well. Hot Air Skyway Super Turbo Pad is right after the corkscrew. Power slide into it and go to the right. If you are an advanced player and know how to U-turn and how to bunny hop, I suggest a speed or an acceleration character for this track. If not, an all-rounder is also good. Cortex Castle Pad is close at the end of the course. Power slide into it and watch the spiders when you land. Due to the sharp turns, I suggest a handling character to maintain the blue fire. But if you are advanced, I would say acceleration works as well. Engine Labs has two places to achieve blue fire. First, the Super Warp Tunnel gives you blue fire. While in it, power slide a few times and try to achieve one or more as soon as you're leaving the Warp Tunnel. This will allow you to hold on to the fire. The next spot is at the pad close to the end of the track. Power slide into it and avoid the holes of death. For this track, I highly suggest the acceleration class. Oxide Station's pad is the one that launches you through space, but you gotta watch out. After you fly through space, make a hard right turn and maintain your reserves and launch off the second pad. I highly suggest either an acceleration or an all-rounder class for this track. Clockwork Wampa's Super Turbo Pad is close to the end of the track. Keep an eye on the pendulum because it will wreck your day and your speed. If you can make the turn, I suggest a speed character for this track and make sure to try to U-turn. If you don't know how to U-turn, make sure to subscribe because I'll be doing a U-turn guide soon. Every single one of Electron Avenue's super pads can give you blue fire, so, have at it. I suggest a speed or acceleration character for this track. Deep Sea Driving is next on the list. This one has a few super turbo pads. There's one right at the start, then when you get past this propeller here, all these pads here on all this little jumps are all super turbo pads. Then there's one when you're entering the tube closer to the end of the track. Also, mind the propellers, they're fun to deal with. I suggest an all-rounder for this track. Thunderstruck has 3 super pads. 2 super pads are back to back, but getting the turn can be frustrating, so make sure to bunny hop to make this turn. You also can find this 3rd super pad right at the end of the track. I suggest an acceleration class for this course. Next up is, Tiny Temple. We literally just talked about this track for like 4 minutes, so if you don't know where the super pad is, I would be very confused, but just in case, it's right here. Next up is Out of Time. It's right at the end of the course. Mind the windmill and don't die. Fairly simple. I suggest a speed character for this track. Hyperspaceway has 2 places for blue fire. The first one is actually a little tricky. Normally you only need 1 power slide to get blue fire and to be able to try and maintain the speed. But weirdly, for this boost pad, you need to have 2 perfect power slides into the pad. The other super pad is by the end of the course. This is a normal one, so 1 power slide will do, but you can always do more. I highly suggest a speed character for this track. Retro and Turbo Track. Well, every boost pad's a super pad, so just hold on to something and don't die. This track is an absolute crap show, so pick whoever and don't forget to scream. Twilight Tour has 2 super pads, one at the start and one at the end. Slide into this one and avoid the dude on the magic carpet that wants to show you a whole new world. The second one is later on the track. Now hopefully you will still have the blue fire from earlier, but if not, you still can get blue fire on the second turbo pad, but it is a little tricky to hold by itself. Launch off the ramp, a quick drift into the turbo pad, a trick jump off the edge, and immediately power slide as soon as the tires hit the ground. I suggest a speed character or acceleration for this course. Prehistoric Playground has 2 super pads that are very close to each other. The first first one is almost right out of the gate. It takes a little practice to get this one down and maintain it, but you can get blue fire almost right at the start of the race. Power slide into this tuber pad, trick jump off the end of it, and as soon as you land, power slide again. If you can, try to take the shortcut to the right. The last one is right at the end of the course. Power slide into it and launch through the waterfall. Because the super tuber pads are so close together, on laps 2 and 3, it's much easier to maintain blue fire. The trick is getting it on lap 1. And that is my guide to getting blue fire and maintaining it. If you have any questions, leave it in the comment section below and I will try to answer them. By the way, a huge shout out to my Patreons and sponsors on the channel. I appreciate your support and letting me be able to do this full time as I got a family to feed. If you want to support the channel, the Patreon is in the description below. And be sure to subscribe for more nostalgic content. And while you're at it, why not check out another video I recently made? Anyway guys, thanks so much for watching and I'll see you guys next time.